Masco presents the SellSmart Home Center and Hardware Selling Skills Series, 5 Steps to Better Selling. Hi, I'm UB Better, the president of Better Home Product Stores, and I'm here to introduce you to our SellSmart series of basic selling skills, 5 Steps to Better Selling. We've named the series SellSmart because that's just what it's designed to do, help you sell smart. No matter how much or how little selling experience you have, these videotapes will help improve your selling skills. To make it easy, each video in this series will take you through one of the steps of a typical retail sale. All right, we'll start naturally with step number 1, realizing that your customer is important. Now, this first step may seem really obvious, but in fact, truly believing your customer's importance is the basis for every successful sales encounter and for all the selling skill steps that follow. Because when you believe your customer is important, you're well on your way to selling smart. Next, in step 2, we'll show you the right way to approach your customer to get your selling efforts off on the right foot. Step number 3 will help you ask your customers the right questions, listen attentively, and understand what your customer is really saying. In step number 4, we'll discuss the ways you can get around the customer problems or objections that could otherwise block a sale. And step number 5 will take you to the finish line, closing the sale and cross-selling related products. In these videos, you'll meet 2 inexperienced salespeople, Wanda and Richard, who will help me demonstrate our selling skills to you in a helpful and, we hope, entertaining fashion. As Wanda and Richard learn and progress, you'll learn and progress too. They'll help you master new selling skills that you can use on your sales floor and help you understand pitfalls that you'll definitely want to avoid. I think we're ready to get right into step 1, understanding and believing how important your customer really is. In case you haven't already noticed, a store without customers is a lot like a buggy without a horse, Christmas without Santa, or a movie without a star. You've probably also noticed that customers come in all shapes and sizes. Some are easy to get along with, while others are a real challenge. Whatever type of customer that comes into your store, your job is basically the same. Make sure that that customer keeps coming back to your store over and over again. I can't emphasize enough how important each and every customer is to you and your store's success. You'll be glad to know that even though step 1 is very important and the basis for all the other steps, it's also a very easy step to master. It's simply a matter of recognizing and believing that the customer is number 1, numero uno. Believe it and practice it and remind yourself of it every single day. When you treat your customers with respect, they'll come back. Treat them badly, and they'll come back to haunt you. Dissatisfied customers, you know, tell anywhere from 8 to 20 people about their complaints, driving away plenty of potential customers, lots of sales, and even your job. Yes, your customers are that important. And when you understand and truly believe that, well, then you're ready for the slightly more difficult steps that follow, beginning with step number 2, approaching the customer. In our second video, we'll show you how to welcome your customers and provide the assistance they need. And just as importantly, how not to.
Hey, mister, can I help you with something?
No, thanks. I see what I'm looking for.
Nah, let me help you. What you need, I probably can find it somewhere in all this stuff and things and stuff like this.
That's okay, miss. I'll just take this and get out of your hair.
You wouldn't approach a customer like that, would you? But just in case you're not certain of the best ways to approach a customer, video number 2 will give you a sequence of steps to follow and practice to help you develop your own personal kind of customer approach. The video will explain that approaching the customer is really learning how to offer your customer assistance. Recently, 58% of all hardware store customers and 52% of all home center customers surveyed said that it was important to them to receive assistance while shopping. But many times, assistance can be pretty hard to come by.
Excuse me, sir, could you help me? Sir,
Sir, I'm looking for those little, you know those little things that kind of, sir? Sir, excuse me. Sir?
You see what I mean? In video number 2, we'll show you 2 types of assistance that your customers expect and need, and how to recognize which situations require which type of assistance. After this video, you'll be able to get every sale off to a successful start. Step number 3 will show you the difference between asking the right and wrong kinds of questions, techniques you can use to learn how to listen better, and the steps to follow to help you better understand what your customer really means. It'll also show you the kinds of embarrassing things that can happen when you don't ask, listen to, or understand your customer's needs.
Here we go, 1 water stop.
Will this stop the water from
Yes, it will.
flowing down
From
my
flowing, yes, just turn that handle.
flowing down my sink drain?
Yep. Oh, down your sink. Well, then you'll want this.
I asked for 2 of them.
Oh, okay. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well, as a matter of fact, I need a
I'm sorry, ma'am. Water stops don't come that big. What kind of sink have you got, anyway?
Funny? Sure, just as long as it happens to someone else. However, this scene does dramatize the importance of knowing these important selling and social skills and practicing them. In step number 4, we'll show you the right and the wrong ways to go about solving customer problems.
You say something's wrong with your toilet.
It won't stop running.
It won't stop running. Does your toilet look anything like the one up here on our display?
Well, yes, it does.
It could be a number of things, but I bet it's running because of that flapper tank ball thing there.
Is it serious?
Oh, serious? Oh, no. I've personally replaced hundreds of those things myself, and if I can replace 100 of them, I'm sure you can replace 1.
Now, in case you're wondering, that was the wrong way. But in video number 4, we'll explain the different kinds of customer problems and objections that you're likely to face on the sales floor. And then we'll show you the ways that you can solve them. And in our last SellSmart Selling Skills videotape, number 5, we'll show you how to close the sale and how and when to cross-sell related products. Now, you'll learn that many times customers are ready for you to close the sale before you are. We'll show you how to recognize this and how to take full advantage of the situation. We'll also explain cross-selling and why its timing is so essential. And then we'll give you the steps to follow that can help you perfect yours. You'll find that all these tapes are easy listening, easy watching, and easy understanding too. After you've seen each video, you'll be given a booklet that highlights the important points of each videotape. You'll find that these booklets are a helpful reference when practicing and refining your selling skills. Now, developing basic selling skills, the 5 steps to better selling, is just one part of becoming a successful salesperson. A second and equally important part is product knowledge. That's why the Masco Corporation has also prepared a series of product-related videotapes. These videos will bring you up to date on various Masco products, as well as assist you in answering most of the product-related questions that you're likely to be asked by customers. For the subject matter and availability of these tapes, check with your training program leader or your store manager. Now, back to step 1. Your customers are your key to profits and success. Believe it. Every day you have the opportunity to treat your customers right and keep them coming back, or to treat them badly and risk losing them for good. That's why learning or refining these SellSmart selling skills and following them day in and day out can make such a difference, both to you and to your store. So be with us next time when we tackle a crucial step in the selling process, approaching the customer. Your Customer is Important is one of the SellSmart series of selling skills videotapes brought to you with the compliments of Masco Corporation. Masco presents the Home Center and Hardware Selling Skills videotape number 2, Approaching the Customer. Every day, every one of us encounters a wide variety of selling approaches. Some of them are subtle, and some of them far from it. You just know that the salesman who's pushing this beauty personally guarantees that the little old lady who owned it only drove it to church, and only every other Sunday. In this videotape, we'll show you some of the best ways for a salesperson, whether he or she is a rookie or an experienced veteran, to approach and make a good first impression on every customer you encounter on your store's sales floor. Hi, I'm UB Better, the President and Chief Selling Strategist for Better Home Centers and Hardware. I'm here to show you the kinds of approaches your customers want and expect to experience when they come into your store. I'll take you step by step through various selling skills to make you more comfortable with your customers and show you different ways to approach them, the types of things that you can say, how to ask the right questions, and how to obtain the product knowledge you need to easily and accurately help them with their specific questions on products and product applications. Customers, of course, are the reason we open our doors every morning. Now, why do you think people choose to come to us instead of our competitors? They like the stock we carry. Our stores look good. They can find the things they're looking for, and they like the way we help solve their building, supply, and hardware wants and needs. The way we help them is really the way you help them, because you're the first person your customers see when they walk into the store. Therefore, your most important job is to make sure that your customer is satisfied and wants to keep coming back. Now, the best way I know of to do that is to properly approach the customers, make them feel welcome, and assure them that we're able to provide the help they need. And that's what this session is all about, approaching the customer. With the help of our two salespeople, Wanda and Richard, we'll show you how to be prepared, be informed, be yourself, be a lookout, be ready not to help a customer, and be eager to provide all the help your customers want and need. Our first step is to be personally prepared for the job ahead. Let's watch as Wanda attempts to approach a customer.
Hey, mister, can I help you with something?
No, thanks. I see what I'm looking for.
Nah, let me help you. What you need, I probably can find it somewhere in all this stuff and things and stuff like this.
That's okay, miss. I'll just take this and get out of your hair.
Talk about scaring away customers. That one looked positively terrified. And that's why being prepared, poised, and confident before you approach a customer can be a big help in making a successful sale. Just take a minute and ask yourself, are you confident? Do you feel good about yourself? And do you present yourself properly? When you can honestly answer yes to all these questions, you're prepared to approach any customer who walks into your store. Step number 2 is be informed. Let's watch as Richard takes a stab at approaching a customer.
Good afternoon, and welcome to a Better's. How can I help you today?
I'm looking for Molly bolts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she works in our paint department. Or is it gardening supplies?
Being uninformed, like Richard, will trip you up every time. Every salesperson should be able to provide customers with the store directions and general product information they need. Someday, you'll become an absolute expert on everything that your store stocks. But in the meantime, just remember, the more you know, the more you can help. Learn your store's layout thoroughly and find out everything you can about its products or where to go for information to help you answer your customers' questions quickly and accurately. Many manufacturers, including many Masco companies, offer new salespeople plenty of help in building product knowledge. They provide home centers and hardware stores with informative videos and other training tools that explain their model lineups and how each product works. The key for you, personally, to be informed is to take the initiative and study these product knowledge materials, in addition to the training your employer gives you, until you really know your stuff. Then, instead of looking foolish, like Richard, you can confidently and accurately answer most any question any customer will ask. All right, our next point to remember: be yourself. Nothing's more awkward than salespeople who are trying to act their way through a sale. Put yourself in the customer's shoes.
Good day, sir. May I be the first sales staff person to welcome you to Better's today. May I say you certainly look nice in that t-shirt and those blue jeans. May I help you or something?
Now, I think you'll agree that's a tough act for the customer to handle. Good advice for someone like Wanda is to just relax and be yourself. Being yourself is good advice for you, too. You've chosen to work as a salesperson, so I assume you're not a full-time grouch. When you approach a customer, if you normally smile, smile. But most importantly, be yourself. Only professional actors can play someone else successfully without looking phony. And if there's one thing a salesperson shouldn't be, it's phony. Step number 4, be a lookout. This reminds me of another situation that happens all too often.
Excuse me, sir. Could you help me? Sir, sir, I'm looking for those little, you know those little things that kind of, sir? Sir, excuse me.
You may think this is an exaggerated example, but I've seen worse. Instead of approaching the customer, Richard totally ignored her, and the customer's likely to hightail it down the street where someone will be very willing to provide the help that she needs. The lesson here, for every salesperson, it's your job to keep a lookout for customers who are looking for your help. It's important, necessary, and profitable for you to go out of your way to provide the help your customers need. It's also important to recognize the type of customer that does not want or need your help and prefers to be left to shop on his own. All right, now that Wanda has more customer experience, let's see the approach she uses to handle this situation.
Good morning, sir. Can I help you?
No, I don't think you can today. Know what I'm looking for. It's right over here in your automotive department.
Fine, but if you do have any questions, I'll be nearby, so feel free to ask.
Okay, thanks.
Wanda handled the situation just right. She made a good first impression because she greeted the customer in a polite, warm, and friendly manner, asked if he needed any help, respected the customer's wishes when he said no, and yet she still promised to provide any assistance if the customer's shopping situation should change. Now, this is important because if you annoy the customer, you risk losing that customer. Research shows us, in fact, that customers who are annoyed by unwanted assistance will probably spend less on purchases in the store than they would have if they had not been approached at all. And that's why knowing when and when not to continue assisting a customer is so important. Our last step is providing all the help customers want and need. This will give Richard a chance to show us his stuff with a totally different kind of customer.
Young man, I'd like to know where your decorator faucets are located.
Well, certainly. They're in aisle 9.
Thank you.
Richard was courteous and polite to the customer. But can you guess what he did wrong? He didn't provide her with the sales help she was really looking for. Even though she only asked for directions, she clearly could have used more assistance. This can be a costly mistake. Research shows that customers who receive directional help only spend an average of 25% less than the average customer per visit. Now watch as Richard takes charge of the same situation.
Good morning, ma'am. How can I help you today?
Can you tell me where your decorator faucets are located?
Sure. Just follow me to our faucet department in aisle 9. We have a wide assortment of faucets for you to choose from. Are you looking for a decorator faucet for your kitchen or your bath?
For my guest powder room.
Okay. What style is your powder room?
Basically, Louis the 17th, I think.
Okay. Why don't I show you a couple of lavatory faucets that we have in stock?
Richard performed just like you'd want him to if you were a customer. He greeted the customer courteously and attentively. He politely listened to her needs, asked pertinent questions to better focus her specific product requirements, escorted the customer directly to the area where the products she's interested in are located, and showed her the store's offerings. When you have a receptive customer like Richard's, this can be the most effective kind of selling approach there is. Now let's recap the high points of this video. Knowing that customers are the reason that we're here. Number one, be prepared. Be self-confident. Be positive. Be polite. Number two, be informed. Know and understand the products that you're selling, where they're located in your store, and how they're used in the real world. Number three, be yourself. Don't act phony. Treat customers as you'd like to be treated yourself. Number four, be a lookout. Keep an eye out for customers who are looking for your help and direction. Number five, be ready not to help a customer. Know how to tell when your customers want and need assistance, and when they don't and prefer to shop on their own. Number six, be eager to provide all the help customers want and need. And when you do provide assistance, follow the steps we just showed you. Greet, listen, question, and escort the customer. These 6 steps will provide you with the proper start toward a satisfied customer and a successful sale. Now, if you still have any questions about how to do it, you can refer to the manual that accompanies this video for a quick review of what you've just seen. In our next videotape, number 3, we'll show you how to ask further questions of the customer, the importance of listening, and some tips on how to understand what the shopper is really saying. But until we meet again, keep practicing your customer approach, because it's true, practice does make perfect. And through practice on real, living, breathing customers, you'll get better, you'll get more comfortable, and more successful at approaching customers in your store. Approaching the Customer is one of a series of selling skills training videotapes brought to you with the compliments of Masco Corporation. Masco presents the SellSmart Series Home Center and Hardware Selling Skills Videotape number 3. Ask, listen, and understand. Hi, you be better again from the Better Home Product Stores. In our last videotape, I shared some ideas with you on how to successfully approach your customer, how to find out what he or she is looking for, and how to escort the shopper to the product category in which they were interested. In this session, I'm going to cover the next steps in the selling process. How to ask your customers the right kind of questions, how to listen to what they're saying, and how to understand what they really want and need. Our 2 salespeople, Wanda and Richard, having successfully approached their customers, are back to demonstrate the benefits of utilizing this next group of important selling skills. And we'll start with the first step, asking the right kinds of questions. Now, it's been said that asking questions is an art. Well, let's watch Wanda as she takes a stab at being Barbara Walters.
You can see we have a large selection of door locks. Do you need a lock for your front door?
Nope.
Your back door, then?
No.
Your side door?
No.
Your basement door?
No.
I know. Your barn door.
What went wrong? Wanda, unfortunately, asked the wrong kind of questions. All of her questions were closed-end, the kind that customers can respond to with just a one-word answer, yes or no. And more often than not, that answer is a firm no. Closed-end questions are easy to spot because they start off with a verb. Have you? Did they? Can I help you? Open-ended questions start with words like how, why, when, what, where, or who. They can't be answered with just a yes or no because they require the person answering to provide you with more information. Let's see what happens when Wanda, in the same situation, asks her customer an open-ended question.
You can see we have a large selection of door locks. Which door of your home will this lock be for?
Well, actually, it's for the service entrance to my garage. I've got a shop out there, and I need better protection for my tools.
I see. Well, let me show you some of the kinds of deadbolt locks we carry for exterior doors.
Quite a difference. This time, Wanda asked an open-ended question. Which door? Encouraging her customer to provide information that she could use to make the sale. This shows you why it's a good idea to turn every question that you put to a customer into an open-ended one. Just make sure that the first word out of your mouth is either how, why, when, what, where, or who. But even when you know how to ask the right kinds of questions, there's more. After you've asked the question, to avoid any misunderstanding, you need to listen attentively to your customer's response.
Here we go, one water stop.
Will this stop the water from
Yes, it will.
flowing down
Flowing, yes, just turn that handle.
flowing down my sink drain?
Yep. Oh, down your sink. Well, then you want this.
I asked for 2 of them.
Oh, okay. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well, as a matter of fact, I need a,
I'm sorry, ma'am. Water stops don't come that big. What kind of sink have you got, anyway?
Well, you can bet the rent that we'll never see that customer again. Not only did Richard fail to concentrate on what his customer was saying, he couldn't stop talking long enough for her to say it. Now, to keep something like this from happening to you, here are 4 ways to help you listen better. Number 1, stop talking. Don't take over the conversation. A lot of selling is learning, and you don't learn a thing while you're talking. That's why many salespeople make it a rule to avoid talking more than a minute at a time to allow the customer to say something. Number 2, turn on your attention switch and fight distraction. Push all those other thoughts right out of your mind. Number 3, listen with interest. Show the customer you're listening by acknowledging what's said with words or gestures. And number 4, control your emotions. Some customers can be antagonizing, but don't let that keep you from listening for clues that you can use to win them over. Okay, we've covered asking and listening. Now for the tough part, understanding. What makes it tough is the fact that people often don't say what they really mean. Watch.
Ma'am, this is the pre-finished parquet wood floor tile I mentioned. Which room in your home were you planning on using it in?
My dining room.
Okay, we have several wonderful finishes in stock. Look at these.
Yes, they're very nice, but I'm not sure how they'll look with my antique furniture. And I'll probably need quite a few of them for my dining room. But, thank you for your time.
Sure.
Okay, at first glance, that customer was struggling to come up with excuses not to buy. By her hesitation, she was really saying, I don't have enough information to comfortably make a buying decision. Understanding the customer is really a matter of interpreting what that customer's saying. And this isn't an exact science. However, here are 4 ways that I have found help improve a salesperson's understanding skills. First, listen between the words. People don't always say what they really mean about buying or not buying. And if your customer is hesitant, ask open-ended questions until you discover what it is that he or she is looking for. And then, when you think you know what's concerning your customer, use the so-if test. Say, so if this concern wasn't a problem, then you'd buy this product, right? And if he says, yes, then you're certain of what's bothering him. But if he says, no, then you found out that it's something else. And you've got to go back and ask more questions to determine what your customer's real concerns are. Another way is to give feedback. People often listen to the same words and come up with several different meanings or facts. Repeat for your customer exactly what you understand are his or her wants. This is an easy way to clear up any misunderstanding. And finally, sum up your customer's needs by itemizing what he or she is going to purchase, ending with, have I missed anything? Or, is there anything else I can help you with? Now, let's give Richard another chance with this customer.
This is the pre-finished parquet floor tile I mentioned. What room is it for?
My dining room.
Well, we have several wonderful finishes in stock. What do you think is best?
Well, They're nice, but I'm not sure how they'll look with my antique furniture.
Okay.
And I'll probably need quite a few of them for my dining room.
Well, this parquet pattern will look great with your antique furniture. I'm sure you'll find a good color choice in this range of finishes, too. And figuring out how many tiles you'll need is a snap.
Well, you know, I still don't know if...
How are you thinking of having the tile installed?
Well, that's what I'm worried about. My husband's not exactly Bob Biwa.
Well, I see. So if installation wasn't a problem, then you'd buy the tile.
Well, I guess so. Sure.
Well, here, let me show you how easy they are to install.
Great.
Looks like Richard is on his way to a sale. By asking the right questions, listening attentively to the answers, and understanding what the customer was really saying, tell me more, Richard was able to overcome her initial objections. You saw how the customer remained hesitant until Richard asked the open-ended question about installation, and then he used the so-if test to make certain that easy installation was his customer's primary concern. Now let's recap what we've learned in this video. When you want to get information from a customer, ask only open-ended questions. Questions that begin with how, why, when, what, where, or who. They encourage people to provide you with clues to their real wants and needs, and can't be answered with a simple yes or no. When your customer answers you, listen attentively to what he or she is saying. Stop talking. Turn your attention switch on. Listen with interest, and control your emotions. And then try to understand or interpret what your customer is really saying. Listen between the words. Use the so-if test. Give feedback. And sum up your customer's needs. And that's it. Ask, listen, and understand. When we meet again in the SellSmart series videotape number 4, I'll take you through the next step in the selling process and show you how to go about solving specific problems your customers may be having. But until then, remember to ask, listen, and understand. And while this will never be an exact science, when you become familiar with the basics, follow the tips that we provided in this video and practice, practice, and then practice some more. You'll get better at asking, listening to, and understanding the customers that walk into your store. Ask, Listen, and Understand is one of the SellSmart series of selling skills videotapes brought to you with the compliments of Masco Corporation. Masco presents the SellSmart series Home Center and Hardware Selling Skills videotape number 4, Solving Your Customer's Problem. Hi, last time we met, I covered the important sales techniques of asking, listening, and understanding. In this session, I'm going to discuss 3 of the most common types of customer problems or objections that you're likely to face every single day. Fear of installing a product, objection to the product's price, or concern that the competition may offer a better product than the one that you're selling. Okay, you're probably thinking that these kinds of customer problems are going to be hard for you to handle. I won't kid you, they can be. But with the help of my intrepid salespeople, Wanda and Richard, and some easy-to-learn selling techniques, we'll show you how to turn these customer problems into opportunities to create a sale. In our previous tapes, Wanda and Richard have learned how to approach the customer and how to ask, listen, and understand. Now let's watch how Richard tackles the next step, helping a customer overcome the fear of buying.
You say something's wrong with your toilet.
It won't stop running.
It won't stop running? Well, maybe you should enter it in a race. Oh, you get it, don't you?
Whoa, Richard, come on, that's not funny. This customer has a real fear of buying your product. Try to help her out, okay?
I'm sorry. Does your toilet look anything like the one up here on our display?
Well, yes, it does.
It could be a number of things, but I bet it's running because of that flapper tank ball thing there.
Is it serious?
Oh, serious? Oh, no, no, no. I've personally replaced hundreds of those things myself, and if I can replace 100 of them, I'm sure you can replace one.
Richard got off to a good start by referring to the informative point-of-sale display, but it was all downhill from there. Generally, customers with a fear of buying lack confidence in the do-it-yourself project they're considering. They fear that they will be unable to read or follow the instructions, that they'll hurt themselves, that they'll be unable to complete the project, or be embarrassed by a bungled job. To help your customers overcome their fear of buying a product, it's important to try to build their confidence. Richard attempted to do this, but to be successful, you must know your products and how your products are used. Richard clearly didn't, but product knowledge is easy to come by. It's available from videotapes, manufacturer's literature and catalogs, fellow salespeople, store managers, and factory representatives. Really, all you have to do is ask. Explain how easy the product is to install. Richard's attempt was filled with exaggerations. All you have to do is show your customers the easy-to-follow installation instructions. Show them that the product truly is designed for do-it-yourselfers, and do it in an honest and sincere manner. Remember back in our videotape, Ask, Listen, and Understand, Richard had another customer whose fear of buying was installation. Well, let's look at the rest of that scene and see how easily he goes about building this customer's confidence to overcome her fear of buying.
How are you thinking of having these tiles installed?
Well, that's what I'm worried about. My husband's not exactly Bob Vila.
Well, he doesn't have to be. Here, let me show you how easy it is. See, they come with illustrated step-by-step instructions in every box.
Well, it does look easy.
Believe me, it is. These tiles are specifically designed with do-it-yourselfers, like you and your husband in mind. So they're easy to install and look great when you're done.
Okay, good. Now, how much tile do you think I'll need?
Well, let's see what it says on the box. Did you bring what you were supposed to?
Now that's more like it. Richard asked the right questions, listened carefully, identified the customer's concern, and finding it was a fear of installation, helped the customer believe that she and her husband could do it themselves. That brings us to the second kind of customer problem, price.
So you're interested in buying an entry door, but don't like this one?
Exactly. It's too expensive.
Well, how much were you expecting to pay?
I don't know, but a good door should cost a whole lot less than this. I mean, even considering inflation and things.
Okay, Wanda, let's stop right there for a moment. Customers with concerns about price will give you lots of reasons for not buying your product. They'll say they saw the identical item elsewhere at a lower price, weren't expecting to have to pay that much, or they just plain can't afford it. Whatever your customer's objections, your task is to minimize their concerns over price by demonstrating the product's features and benefits. Or in other words, sell the product's value. And here are two ways that you can do it. I call these techniques defer and agree. With defer, the idea is to put aside or defer your customer's objection. And then, as we discussed, minimize that objection by detailing the product's features and benefits. When the customer complains that the price is too high, say, "I'll come back to that in just a minute, but first, let me tell you a thing or two about this product." Now, more often than not, by the time you finish talking about the product's features and benefits, the customer's original concern, price, will be greatly reduced, if not eliminated altogether. The second way to overcome price objections is to agree with your customer that the item is high-priced. This time, you confront the customer's complaint head-on. Tell him, "You're right, it is expensive, but look at all the value you're getting for your money." Let's give Wanda a crack at agreeing with her customer's price objection.
It's too expensive.
Well, you're right. This top-of-the-line door is priced higher than some of the steel doors we carry, but it's much less expensive than a real wood door, which really makes it a great value. Plus, even though it's built from a special kind of fiberglass, it looks, feels, and stains just like real wood. And it also has a solid polystyrene thermocore that gives you 3 times the insulation value of wood. And that'll save you money on your heating and cooling bills all year round.
You know, it sounds like this door could actually save me some money.
That's right.
Wanda handled that beautifully. She acknowledged the door's high price, but she sold her customer on the door's extra value, so he could see for himself that it was worth the extra cost. I've personally found that when overcoming price objections, the defer technique works best when the product being sold is not especially high priced. With an obviously high priced product though, like a top-of-the-line entry door, I use the agree technique. I acknowledge the high cost, but quickly offset that cost with the product's superior features and benefits. Of course, there will be times when a customer cannot be sold on a top-of-the-line product. In those cases, you should sell him down the line to a lower-priced product, explaining the differences in value as you go. Now, for our last problem, customers who are concerned that the competition may offer a better product than the one you're selling. This time, you face a customer who is almost sold on the product, but he's either worried that he hasn't done enough comparison shopping, or that after he buys, he'll discover another product that offers better or more reliable features and benefits. All your customer needs is some extra convincing that he's making the right purchase decision. In this situation, like before, your job is to explain the product's features, benefits, and ease of installation. But you also need to go a couple of steps further. If you know the product's a good seller, or that you haven't had any customer complaints in the past, say so. Explain the warranty, and the fact that your store stands behind everything it sells. This added reassurance helps convince your customer to buy from you now, instead of delaying his buying decision to look at competitive products elsewhere. And that's it. In this session, we've shown you 3 of the most common types of customer problems that you're likely to run into. Fear of buying the product, objections to the price, and concerns that the competition may have a better product offering. We've shown you ways to solve these problems and turn them into selling opportunities. To really get it all down cold, review our guidelines periodically in the manual that accompanies this video. Next time, in the final videotape in this series, I'll be showing you how to close the sale and how and when to cross-sell. But in the meantime, remember, you now have some guidelines to use to overcome customer problems. They work for Wanda and Richard, and they'll work for you too, in increased sales and in happier customers. Solving your customers' problems is one of the SellSmart series of selling skills videotapes brought to you with the compliments of Masco Corporation. Masco presents the SellSmart series Home Center and Hardware Selling Skills videotape number 5, How to Close the Sale, and How and When to Cross-Sell. Hi again. In our past sessions, we've taken you through these selling steps: how to approach the customer, how to ask the right questions, how to listen, how to understand what the customer's really saying, and how to solve customer problems. This time, my student salespeople, Wanda and Richard, and I will show you how to close the sale and how and when to cross-sell related products. In every selling situation, there's a critical moment of decision on the part of the customer to either buy or to walk out. Recognizing that critical moment takes skill and concentration. You've got to learn to listen and understand the buying situation from the customer's point of view, so that you're constantly aware of how things are progressing towards the conclusion of the sale. Now, we covered this in detail in our videotape, Ask, Listen, and Understand. Of course, experience is the best teacher, but I can give you some tips on how to recognize when the closing moment has arrived. Watch your customer's facial expression for a closing signal: a smile, a nod of approval, a sudden friendliness, or an understanding look in the eyes. Watch the body language. A relaxation of a person's stiffness can indicate that the customer is ready to buy. He or she may also do something like pick up the package and start reading the directions. Or he or she may suddenly start to agree with you, saying things like, "I understand. Yeah, I see that. You know, you're right. That should help me." Whatever sign your customer gives you, it's important for you to quickly understand the signal and start closing. Okay, let's give Richard a crack at reading a customer's signals.
You really don't have to be concerned. Installing a new bathroom vanity is a pretty easy job. This installation kit has detailed instructions that show you step by step just how it's done.
Oh, great.
And as you can see, the kit contains all the parts you need.
Well, even I can do it, huh?
With these instructions, even my grandmother could do it.
I think I get the picture.
Well, see, the whole thing's done with pictures. You don't even have to be able to read to install your vanity.
Huh. Well, it looks like I wasted 4 years in college.
No, this really doesn't take a great deal of smarts. Believe me, I know.
I'll tell you what, I'll think about it, and well, maybe I'll stop back again some other time.
Well, okay.
Richard, your customer was more than ready to buy, and you missed the signals. They were all there. Facial expressions, body language, verbal agreement. All Richard and you have to do is look for them and start closing. How do you close? Well, here are some basic suggestions. You can always use the direct approach. Simply ask, shall I write it up? Or offer your customer a choice that forces him to commit himself to buying. Did you say you wanted this door in red or beige? Do you prefer the faucet in antique brass or chrome? Or you can assume or take for granted that the customer will buy and that only minor details need to be worked out. Now let's make sure that we've got the quantity right. You want the floor tiles delivered, or will you take them with you? Or finally, simply summarize the key selling points, signaling to the customer that the presentation is over and it's time to say yes. We've decided that you prefer the red door over the beige. You need 2 of them, and we'll deliver them to your residence next week. Shall I write it up? In the previous videotape in this series, Wanda was selling a customer a top-of-the-line entry door. Let's see how she handles the close.
I believe you said you wanted the door in the 6-panel embossed style and in the dark gray, and you'd like it delivered. Will Tuesday be soon enough for you?
Fine.
Oh, great. I'll write up your order then.
Wanda used the summary method we talked about very effectively. The approach you use really depends upon your reading your customer properly and deciding which approach would be most effective. Over time, you'll use all of them. There are, however, a couple of things that you should watch out for. If during your presentation a customer hesitates and shows no sign of agreement, you should find out why. Hesitation could mean that he's ready to buy if you can satisfactorily overcome his last objection or 2. Handle the objections, then start the close. It's also important for you to stick with your customer. Too often, inexperienced salespeople will answer a customer's questions thoroughly enough, but then they'll walk away, leaving the customer to fend for himself and to make his own decision to buy or to leave without buying anything. Experienced salespeople hang around for another minute or 2 until the customer decides to buy what you're selling or not. Your presence can be the extra nudge some customers need to buy now. Well now, I think congratulations are in order. You've made the sale, your customer's happy, you're happy, and your boss is happy too. But believe it or not, all of you could be even happier. How? By selling your customer products that are related to the one that he or she's just agreed to purchase. Now this is called cross-selling, and it's an important customer service. It can save your customer extra trips to your store to purchase items that he or she's going to need anyway. And it can dramatically increase your sales volume, something your boss is sure to notice. Now I have 3 important rules governing cross-selling. Always cross-sell after your customer makes the original buying decision. If you try earlier, you'll simply confuse the selling process and probably lose the sale. Always cross-sell before you start to cash out, because after that point, your customer is ready to walk out the door. But don't overdo it. Too many suggestions may antagonize the customer. And remember, the product you're cross-selling must relate to the original product your customer's buying. A sink buyer, for example, may also need a faucet or a sink installation kit. Or if it's a kitchen sink, you might try to sell a new garbage disposer too. Kitchen cabinets usually need countertops, hinges, door and drawer handles. Now you're getting the idea. And you can see that this is another time when it really pays to know your product lines. So let's see how Wanda cross-sells her entry door customer.
Well, with that new front door, you'll probably need a new door lock.
You're right. You know, I was sort of thinking about a deadbolt.
Well, this set here combines a polished brass latch and a separate deadbolt lock. would really complement your door's traditional styling.
Yeah, I like that.
And you might also want to add a brass kick plate and one of our brass door knockers.
Well, I don't know about the door knocker, but my wife would love the brass kick plate.
Great.
You saw how Wanda suggested the lock set first. When her customers seemed to be really interested, she continued cross-selling related items that she felt would help enhance the door's beauty and utility. Now, you may think that this customer was an easy sell, but many times after the original purchase decision has been made, cross-selling your customer additional related items really is that easy. Well, now you've got all of my tips on how to close, the customer signals to look for, as well as the different kinds of closing techniques that you can use. And I've also shared my tips with you on how and when to cross-sell. This videotape concludes our Masco SellSmart Selling Skills series. Wanda and Richard, well, they've learned a lot, and I hope you have too. These sessions have shown you that being a competent salesperson is of tremendous value, both to you and to your store.
And the customers that you help to feel special become special customers who are likely to come back and buy again and again.
On the other hand, studies show that dissatisfied customers tell anywhere from 8 to 20 people about their complaints. A typical business only hears complaints from 4% of its dissatisfied customers. That means that 96% of these customers just go away, and most never come back.
And now it's up to you. Hone your basic selling skills, like we've shown you, through practice, and more practice. Learn your product lines so you can handle basic customer questions, and sell each customer just the way that you'd like to be sold to.
Do it and do it well. We promise you will become a better salesperson.
And remember, being good is a lot more satisfying than just being mediocre.
Whenever you feel the need for a refresher course, you have a full set of our SellSmart Selling Skills manuals to refer to. Or ask someone at your store to let you see these videos again. So, keep learning, keep practicing, and good selling. How to close and how and when to cross-sell is one of the SellSmart videotapes brought to you with the compliments of Masco Corporation.